Woo! Woo! Look, I just been keeping my poise. Made by the million, but still unemployed. They text me about green, but not on Android. She not my shawty, she filling the void. I make the sounds that cut through the noise. He think he a man, but he chillin' with boys. Put down the liquor, start drinking LaCroix. The pain wasn't choice, but now I rejoice. My uncle had told me that I was the one. I played that shit smart, now my bragging and dumb. Lil' shawty had hit me, said she wanna come. Her dresses is black, but she not a nun. I'm so Pasadena, cause that's where I'm from. Some bangers, some hoes. Them with guns, they scheming for riches, they playing it numb. I'm second, I wins cause I'm second to none. Look, what the you think I do it for? Do it for? Hey, looking in the mirror, you the go, hey, I've been out here.
Yo, what is happening, people? Happy Wednesday. So today we got the fellas, me, Jason, and King are here. And we are talking about today. We're talking about the money. We're going to get down to the money today. We're talking about your income, how to use your income, leverage that W-2 to purchase a home, how to leverage your 1099 to purchase a home, what to write off, or how banks look at your write-offs, rather. We also going to talk about the elephant in the room. Those Hamden tax bills is coming out. I believe some of them came out already. So we're gonna talk about those tax bills and what to do and how to move forward, man. So stay connected. Secure the Bag Podcast. What's up, fellas? How we doing?
What's going on, man? Good, bro. Good, man. Good.
Everybody's shaking and moving. King in the car. Jason in the new location. Everybody's shaking and moving. I'm in the crib. Like, I'm in the crib, man. Yo, how was your week?
Yo, monster, bro. I had some good business. Just things are going well, man. Got no complaints, bro. Went this weekend, went to go see the Odyssey, brother. And I get, you know what makes me mad about the right and MAGA and Republicans, bro? They're the biggest fruitcakes in the world, man.
Whoa.
That movie had nothing to do with no wokeness or anything, bro. It was just a good fucking movie, bro.
Wait, what's
you know what I mean? Like,
what's it
they
called?
made a big, the Odyssey.
Yeah, I don't know nothing about that.
Yeah, man, they made a big fuss over Lupa being in there as the Queen of Troy, and this Elliot Page. Remember, she used to be a chick. Now she's she used those vowels. And
she used to be a chick.
Yeah, they were in the movie for like less than 8 minutes, bro, combined. Like they have very small roles, but that was dope. Like, it was a really good movie, man. It's worth going to see. Make sure you go see it in IMAX or 4XD. We went to see it in IMAX, man. It was a dope movie. I was telling my wife I'm a big Greek mythology fan and medieval times, so it fit right up my alley with Greek mythology. But it's a continuation of the movie Troy, so it was dope.
Oh, got you.
Yeah.
Got you. And it's called Odyssey. I can't remember. I don't
even know why the hell I brought that up, but just something that's, it was a good movie. I think everybody should go see it.
Listen, man, it was on your spirit, man. Sometimes you just gotta let be. What up with you, King?
Just moving and grooving, man.
Yo,
I would talk about my weekend, but I put it in my book. I learned in this life that I'm living, you can't talk about every single thing that you do, every single thing that you go through. You got to put it in the book. It makes things more interesting.
Nah,
So
sure.
a lot of times I don't share everything. You got to do everything at the right time. You know, it's a time and a place.
Nah, I heard that.
Definitely.
I
And
heard
most
that.
people don't even give a damn anyway.
Right. That's a fact. That's a fact.
But
No.
keep writing that story. You feel me?
Oh yeah. Nah. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, man. So
it ain't over till it's over. You heard?
nah, definitely not.
How was your weekend, Jay? What you been up to, man?
Wow. I don't even know, what did I do this weekend? I don't think I did too much this weekend. Been working a lot. Yesterday was our anniversary, man. Me and the wife. 14,
Oh wow! Congrats.
14 years. Babe, I think
Congratulations, bro.
I think that number's wrong. It's been 14 years. Yeah.
That's fire.
Yeah.
She been putting up with you that long? Yo, she a strong woman, bro.
Yeah, but
I'll tell you, man.
it's actually been
How she do it?
It's actually been longer because, you know, we was together for what, 6 years, Ma, you on the live. We was we was together 5 or 6 years before we even got married. So we've been together for 20-something years.
Oh,
damn.
Yeah.
How y'all do it?
No, I don't know, man. I mean, you know, occasionally cussing each other out and then, you know, and then working it out. It's like,
I think that's regular.
Right.
Yeah, I think that's normal.
Right. You know what I mean? But nah,
that's what's up.
Nah, that's my dog, man. But yeah, that was it, man. Went out to dinner yesterday. I think I'm gonna head to the beach this weekend. I told you, man, I was getting on Mike's nerves, but it's like I had the vacation from vacation, man. I went on vacation and then I had to lock in and get back to work. You know, rightfully so. So we trapping, man. We out here in these real estate streets. So let's get to the money, fellas. Let's get to the money. We always talk about, you know, the pre-approval, the W-2s. Like I always tell my clients, yo, you need 2 years of income, you know, 2 years of W-2s and your bank statements and so on and so forth. But what about the 1099 people? You know what I'm saying? Is it the same thing? What's the difference between a W-2 deal and a 1099 deal, Jason?
So, excuse me, let's go back a little bit. So whenever you're getting into this mortgage, you know, business and real estate, and you're going to purchase a home and you're going to speak to a realtor and go speak to a loan officer, the loan officer should be the point of contact when you're starting to really break down what you're trying to do. The reason I say that is not you, Jerard, not you, King, not most realtors, but very few realtors don't overshare or say things that can put a seed in the client's head that give them doubt throughout the loan. That's why when you're talking about finances, you always want to go to the loan officer first, because every situation is different. And until we know exactly the situation, you can't give a real assessment on which direction the borrower should take. Case in point, I had a couple of borrowers recently get all this information. They came to me, 99% of the information was wrong, and they're pushing for something that they don't have, they don't qualify for, and it just didn't make a lot of sense. And when I started peeling back what was going on, it was because they sat down with the realtor and the broker, and they planted a seed in their head about pre-qualifying for DPA and all these things that it just wasn't realistic for their situation. So first, do the consultation with the loan officer and the realtor or the loan officer to figure out what's your financial situation. Are you W-2 or are you 1099? W-2 is pretty straightforward. We use what's on your W-2. We qualify you what's on your W-2, right? The last 2 years, last 2 most recent pay stubs. Now, if you're a 1099, you're self-employed or a contractor, we got to look at that information a little differently than we do on the 1099s. I mean, I'm sorry, on the W-2s, because that work is not steady income most of the time when you're self-employed. It's not steady income most of the time when you're a contractor. So we got to take those averages based on how long you've been doing it. Now, this is where the good part comes in for some and some others. Depending on the type of business you have, you can actually use 1 year of your tax returns and your 1099s, depending on the type of business you're in. Case in point, some people don't know this, but if you have a pen, write it down. If you have been in this business prior, W-2, 1099, whatever, but most of the time, if it's been a W-2, you've been in that industry and you transferred into that industry and now you're 1099, some lenders will actually say, hey, let's get the 1 year and see how this income is trending, right? For most people, you can go from W-2 to 1099, you have to wait a year or two. When you go from 1099 to W-2, you can now qualify using your W-2s because you're going from self-employed contractor to actually full-time salary. And now we can use that that new employment when we're figuring the numbers out.
Does it have to be?
I'll keep this. Go ahead.
Do it got to be the same job, the same field, or anything like that?
It don't got to be the same job. It don't have to be the same field. You can actually, it helps because now there's strong support. Hey, this person is not just going from industry to industry. And these are things underwriters take in consideration. Like, people don't think they do, but if underwriters see you jumping every couple of years from this industry to that industry and the income is not stable, they will not qualify you on the full income that you're making, right? It's just the way they look at it because of the risk factor. But that's why I say if you're going from industry to industry and you're just going from W-2 to 1099, sometimes they'll do that 1 year depending on the lender. So we'll find a lender who does the 1 year. But if you're going from 1099 self-employed contractor to W-2, most of the time you can actually just qualify for that property and start looking to purchase a home once we get through the pre-approval process, because you're now established, you have a W-2, we know exactly how much you're going to be making, and it's stable, and we can qualify you off that income.
So listen, you know what's funny? Hold on, right?
You got it.
It's funny. I spoke to a lot of people about using their business to get property, but it's like they need to hear from somebody else, it seemed like, because they're not picking up on it. It's like they just want to make money in the business, but they don't know that you could really use your business to really get property. I think they think it's not real, it's not true. Because I didn't initially know that from the beginning until I had a loan officer that I was connected to. They reached out to me and they let me know. So I started telling a lot of people about it, but they're still trying to just work a job when they've been doing the business for a lot of years, and they could, get qualified over their bank statements.
So you saying they own a business, they've been working that business for a while, but they're working a job just so that they could buy a house?
I feel like they're doing both, but it's like they're misinformed or ignorant, ignorant meaning not knowing, information. So I feel like the more, because everybody push, first time home buyer, everybody push that more than, using your business. I think we need to change certain things up because everybody know about the first time home buyer programs and seminars and down payment assistance and different things like that. We need to push it the other way as far as, using your business to qualify or whatever. Because they just don't know, and they're more focused on that, but they've been doing business for a long time. And I also think a lot of people who don't use their business, maybe they don't have a business bank account or something. Maybe they're commingling the funds from their job and their business and putting everything in one account. That's what I'm thinking too, because it's like once you give them the information, they're like, oh yeah, it sounds good, but they never move forward. But I think it's the education part, and they need to know that if you do have money from your business, you need to separate that money, a different account, a different financial institution, if that helps, because you gotta separate it so they can see the money that's going in there, and then you could get basically you have all those requirements, and you could get assessed on what you have coming in, basically.
Yeah, I don't even, and Jason, correct me if I'm wrong. Hold on, there was two things. First of all, so even if you use your business, you could still use your business and still qualify as a first-time home buyer, right? So you could still go. I was just telling Jason, I bought my house with my 1099, and not only did I buy my house with my 1099, but I went FHA, and gift of equity. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like total trifecta off of the 1099. You know, I didn't use a W-2. So you could still
Yeah, I'm about to do that.
Yeah, you can
listening to you.
But it's like,
yeah, I'm about to do that, man.
Yeah, why, me and Jason was just talking, gift of equity deals are the best, when you purchasing a home from a family member, relative, in-law, some sort of, family connection, they could gift you the equity. So you talk about, buying a house with no money out of your pocket, like that's the best way to do it for real. And that's how I did mine. But the point is, even the bank account thing, Jason, correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think it matters because when you 1099, I don't even think they're using bank statements. They're using profit and loss statements. True or false?
It all depends on how you have everything structured.
Gotcha.
That's the key thing. So whenever the problem is, and King says something, there's even loan officers giving misinformation out there to clients because they don't know, because what they're doing is they're reading a guideline, right? But they never actually did the loan process before for that actual guideline. So there's so many things that you got to check all the time because things we don't even know, like, because every time I see something and I'm like, I'm not sure, let me double check the guidelines because guidelines change all the time. So when people say, I know for sure, they don't because things change. So now being self-employed, there's a lot of opportunity for self-employed people now. There's DSCR. You can do bank statements, 12 months of bank statements to calculate your income.
Right.
Some banks do 6 months of bank statements. It really all depends on how you have your business structured. And I think most of the time, everybody wants it. So the biggest thing I hate, and this drives me crazy, everybody says, I don't want to pay taxes. Listen, you have to pay taxes. So what happened when the market crashed, right? Before the market crashed, you can write everything off and you can use that top number on your 1040s, right? Top number says this is how much money I made. $1 million, I wrote everything off. I said I made 6,000. When the market crashed, they said no. They revamped the industry and say no. We want to see what's your taxable income, not what you say you made, but what you're actually being taxed on. That changed the whole game at that point. So now you had to use that tax income. So all those write-offs you were doing, you say you made 500,000, but you wrote off and you're only paying taxes on 20, 30,000. They stopped it. So what you do now is two things. And this is hard to explain sometimes because people are wrapped up into their own thoughts, right? And their own opinions. But think about this. If you're trying to save on taxes, right? You're trying to save, I don't want to pay taxes. I don't want to pay $20,000, $30,000. I keep it in my account. Fine. But that $20,000, $30,000 that you're saving, that you're putting away, if you claim that money, you can actually buy an investment property or an asset or something that's going to pay you way more than that through the course of the year, right? Rental properties, whatever, to pay you through the course of the year. So if you write it off, you lose money. But if you actually say, hey, this is what I made, and you're paying those taxes, now you have more purchasing power to do more things for at least, less amount of money out your pocket. And that's where I think sometimes we're not really understanding that you can do a 15% down up to a 2-unit. You can do that, right?
Wait, say that
if
again.
You go conventional, you could
do
do a 15% down up to a 2-unit. If you do conventional, 2 units is going to be about 25%. So, and that's a regular conventional loan using W-2s, pay stubs, and everything. When you do a DSCR, you don't have to use any of that. You can use basically the rental income from the property. So these are different options that people don't know about, right? It's out there. It's been out there for a while. It's just how is it being taught to the community? What information is being put out there, and how are they trying to structure the deal? The problem is most people are just trying to close a quick deal. They're not trying to say, hey, Jerard, hey, King, don't buy that property. Hey, Jerard, hey, King, think about this. Hey, Jerard, hey, King, go speak to your CPA and tell them to restructure this. So now next year, when you go buy a home, we can get like 3 investments instead of just 1. You know what I mean? Oh, it's less money out your pocket, but guess what? is making it harder to purchase that property. Just put a little more money down, and now we can make it painless because now we're getting those better properties. We're able to really get into that nitty gritty, and we don't even got to use our income. We can use the rental property performance to make it work. And I think that's where we need to start educating more, because people out there are losing money and they have no idea what they could be actually doing.
So talk to me about the performance, and so we're talking DSCR. So
debt service coverage ratio.
Right. How do you calculate? Do you know how do they calculate the performance?
So most of the time, what you're going to do is when you get the appraisal, that appraiser is going to have a rent roll. It's a form, right? It's a form they're going to have to put on their property. So usually if it's already a property that have leases, they will collect the leases. And then once they collect the leases, they will actually account that onto the appraisal report.
Right.
If they don't, they'll do a rent roll where they do the estimate of those properties in the area, how much they're renting for, and then they'll put that on there. And now we can actually use that number towards the DSCR. And the DSCR is this, it's simple. DSCR is a debt service coverage ratio. It's what your mortgage payment is for the property to what your income is for the property. And you want them at least to be equal.
Okay.
If they're equal, I don't want to break this down right now because it could be complicated. If it's equal, it's going to be 1. That's considered 1.
Okay.
Any profit above that will give a percentage, 1.2, 1.3, 1.4. Anything below that, it starts to go negative, 99, 98, so forth and so on. So we want it at least to be 1.
Right.
Once it's 1, we can actually use that rental income for the property to say, okay, this property is profitable.
So how does that work towards your pre-approval amount? Is there an amount that I'm pre-approved for, or is it solely just based off of the debt service?
So it's going to be solely based off the debt service.
Nice.
So what we recommend is this: whenever you find a property that you want to qualify for, come get the rent roll. So I tell the realtor, hey, when you're working with this client, make sure you get the rents that are on the property now. Don't do the MLS, bro. You're just making our job harder, because sometimes the MLS is wrong, especially down here. A lot of time people just put anything in the MLS. And it doesn't even make sense. You're like, hold on, it's a 3-1 and you getting $900 for the property. That don't even make any sense. But when you start asking, like, hey, what are the rents for the properties? What units are rented and how much they're rented for? They'll usually give you their calculations or whatever. And then now you can use it. You give it to your loan officer and we'll calculate it. And we go, okay, this is the estimated payment. This is the rent roll. Does it meet the qualification to make it go? Right, make it work. But there's something else on top of that which you can do. So if you have a vacant unit, if they can get that unit occupied off of what the rent says, because it might be market rent average, but you might be able to actually rent it for maybe $200-300 more. If you get that filled, get the contract, get them to pay first last security deposit before you move in, we can actually apply that rent to your DSCR, and now we can actually increase it and make it work for you that way also.
Got you. So it sounds to me, DSCR is like a smoother transaction, and if you will, but you gotta have that money to put down. So what's the minimum down payment requirements on DSCR?
So minimum down payment is 15%. You can go down to 50% on a DSCR if the property is performing
15.
1.5. If that property is performing at 1.20, so at least 20% more. 20% more income from what the mortgage payment is that you're receiving in rents, and then you can get it. We're actually doing it. We could do a 2-unit now also. Another thing to remember, I just had this conversation the other day. Whenever you see loans that are just weird and not a lot of lenders are not doing it, that means the risk of that loan is high. Because if it wasn't so risky, more lenders would be doing it. So get ready for higher rates. In those deals, but you still make sure your margins work. It'll work out for you. Don't worry about the rates. Worry about the returns on that property, because you might not be able to refinance all the time quickly, right? I tell people that. I'm not going to say, oh, you can refinance next year. It might not work. People have been saying that for the past 5 years. Oh, you can buy this house and next year you'll refi to a lower rate. It don't work like that. But if you can afford that payment right now and you calculate that jump that's going to probably be in the taxes next year, the following year, and you can calculate that and you can still sustain that and make profit, you're probably going to win in that situation. And if you can win in that situation, then you probably won on the buy, and you're probably going to put that property is probably going to perform for you now and well into the future.
Right. So on the other side, right? So we're talking about the DSCR side, but what about your what they call it, your conforming loans, right? Did I say that right?
Yep.
See, I be learning shit.
Yep.
I be learning.
Yep.
Your conforming loans. So what's the difference on how they calculate DSCR versus your conforming loans in terms of the rental income and things like that?
So whenever you're doing conforming loans, it's similar, right? But the thing with conforming loans, if you have owned a property, so it's a few different ways, right? So first, if you own the property already and you have tenants in there and you're refinancing to a lower rate, they'll give you, and you're reporting those rental incomes on your tax returns, they will give you 100% rental profit for those units.
What you're
100%.
filing on your tax returns?
What you're filing your tax return. So you get 100% of that. So if I'm saying, okay, each unit is rented out for $1,500 and I'm filing $1,500, I get to use $1,500.
Nice.
So when I'm purchasing a property and those units are vacant, what's going to happen is they're going to use 75% of the value of 75% of that rental income,
right,
to help you qualify for that property
on
conventional
on vacant units.
On vacant units,
all right,
which now is going to make it difficult because now you got to use your income. Plus, you only get 75% of each vacant unit, which most of the time, a lot of people are not buying occupied units, they're vacant. So now they're trying to calculate, and those numbers can work, and sometimes they don't. But if you have high income, usually that's not going to be an issue. But you got to do all the paperwork. You got to do all the red tape. The DSCR works different. You don't have a lot of red tape at all, and you barely have any paperwork. That property just needs to perform. The DSCR, that means that mortgage payment and that rental payment has at least to be equal to each other. So if this payment is 1, 2, 3, 4 for the mortgage payment, then if that rental rates you're getting income is 1, 2, 3, 4, they're married, and you're gonna probably be doing well on that property.
Nice.
Basically, they got to match it or do better than what the mortgage is. Basically,
correct. It's got to perform. Correct.
Nice. Can you do?
They're cool. I do a lot of DSCR, so it's a easy, breezy loan most of the time, man. Sometimes you get hiccups here and there. It's part of the business, but not using income, it helps a lot, man, because you don't gotta have people analyzing tax returns and pay stubs and all your bank statements, and this is what's coming in, and it's just like, it's just
like you skip the line. It's like you're like, oh yeah, I gotta wait in line. All right. You like VIP kind of. Like VIP, you're going straight to the front. Now I got everything I need right here. I'm torn in between like what I'm gonna do on my next deal. I think I want to do a fix and flip. The next thing I do, I think I want to do a fix and flip. Yeah.
Fix and flips could be they could be profitable, man.
I think I'm just use all my money to where I don't got to use a lender, or just get a lender just in case or whatever, but not really need their money. So I'm thinking about getting a lender, not really using my money, but maybe use theirs and I keep mine, and then pay them whatever they got to get at the end, and I still got my money left over. So I'm torn between that, because my goal is to have my company, Making Dreams Reality LLC, be the company that's fixing up the property, and then I basically represent that property or that company, my fault, and then I represent the buyer as well, and then get it done like that. That's one of my my next things I'm working on the next 2 years.
Yeah.
Doing that.
Yeah, the key is just find a deal. You know, once you find a deal and run the numbers, you know, understand your exit strategy, and then you'll figure out what's the best way to go. The blessing is you got options.
Right.
So,
That's the goal. Always have options.
yeah.
There's a lot of people with no options out here, bro. Like crazy.
Sorry. Listen, all you people with no options, you got to figure out how you can get some options, man. And listen, it ain't gonna be easy, but it's possible.
That was your segue to say, get with the team, man. We gonna figure out how to get you some options. Yeah. Get you
We'll
some
definitely
options.
help you
Listen,
figure it
man,
out.
get with the team, man.
Yeah.
Word.
So
It ain't easy.
So I mean, well, since King brought it up, let's talk about that. So, what about like fix and flips? Jason, do you have any fix and flip products? Like, do you deal with that? Do you see those?
I have a bunch of fix and flip products. Nice.
Yeah. Okay. So, in terms of the qualification, you know, 1099 or W-2, does it matter? Is it like DSCR when it comes to, you know, the fix and flip products?
No, fix and flips is usually similar to DSCR, but it's all about performance, right? You buy a property, they care about the ARV, as long as that ARV is after repair value, and the ratios, and that's all they really care about. Unless you have the money, you have the credit, and a lot of times you're not going to find it much no more because the market changing. You have the experience, because a lot of them are not going to mess with you with no experience now, because the turnover in this market right now, this is another thing where I hate, man. Like, it makes it harder for other loan officers sometimes to get these loans, right? They comparing apples to oranges. So you get somebody to come like, yo, this guy can do this, blah, blah, blah. Like, yeah, this dude just did 15 fix and flips in the past 24 months. You know what I mean? You have none. So now we got to make sure that we find a lender who can cater to you. Like, all that stuff takes time, because think about it. If the lender is going to give you money, and this is the biggest misconception, the bank just want to take my home. The bank does not want to take your home. I promise you, the banks do not want your property, regardless of how much equity that's in the property. Because what's going to happen with the bank, they got to take responsibility for that property now. All the maintenance, all the taxes and everything, and they got to pay for it. They don't want to do that. They want you to pay your bills or figure something out or sell the property so they can get their money back. And that's all. When you talk about financing, just think about it from a risk standpoint. And this is something I learned several years ago, and I've been in the business for a long time. And when I was working at the bank, they always said, all of our meetings, right, our operations meetings, it was like, think about the risk. So when I got back into the mortgage industry, it's like, it's all about risk. So whenever you're analyzing a loan, don't just say, oh, this fits the mold. Think about the risk also, because sometimes loans may fit what's on paper, but when you start running it through the system will be like, nah, you need to restructure. Nah, you need to restructure, because of the risk factor in it. So with fix and flips, they started dying off the past couple of years, is because, one, there's more inventories on the market. So if you get newer people into this space and they don't do the numbers correct, that house can sit there on the market in any place. Like, we have them in Miami, pretty sure you have them in Connecticut, they have them in New York, they have them everywhere. It's not assessed right, and the market just sits on the market. And then now the bank is in trouble, because if you're not selling a home and it's an investment, the first thing you're going to be like is, I'm going to dump this thing. I don't care if I lose money. That's most people. That's why when you're doing investments, it's a higher down payment, because it's going to be, you're going to care less about that property. If something were to happen, you're going to go in survival mode. You're going to protect your primary residence, and you're going to get rid of everything else so you can survive. So when you do the fix and flip, it's changed. A lot of places change and they cut back on it. But if you do the right numbers, if you analyze it right, if you basically put everything in place and you get those numbers where they're supposed to be, you can win on a fix and flip. You just got to make sure that you're partnered with somebody, or you're going low enough where the risk, the reward outweighs the risk.
Right. I noticed a lot of fix and flippers don't take into account for change. And you know, so like even you know, we was talking about the tax bills in Hamden just came out, and it's a couple of fix and flippers that got caught in that. You know what I mean? Not knowing the market, just counting the money real fast and not thinking about the change. And
Yeah, man.
it's price drop crazy right now. Hamden look like Florida right now. Hamden look like South Florida right now. There's so many properties on the market, a lot of price drops. I did a CMA for a client 3 months ago, and the numbers completely changed, like by a lot.
I don't think people understand that.
Yeah.
Like literally, we went from 2 weeks ago. I quoted somebody a rate. Literally 2 weeks later, the rate was 1.5 points higher for investment property. Like this shit happens. Like it's crazy because people think once they quote something, it's going to stay like that forever. And she's like, "Oh my God, every lender is." I'm like, "Every lender is doing that." Think about what you just said. Every lender's been quoted because you're waiting too damn long to move. Like if I quote you a rate today, that rate might not be the same tomorrow. It's just it doesn't work like that. This market changes. And I think sometimes we don't understand that when you get into the investment side, it gets worse because they're sticklers, man. They want their money. They don't want to lose they don't have protections like primary residence.
Right.
They don't have those protections at lenders. So when they lose their money, they lose their money. There's no mortgage insurance. There's nothing to protect them.
Yeah, Jerard just said something that just made me think about basically the deal that we had, Jason. We could talk about it now because we pretty much out that deal now. So basically, these people, from the price, I already knew that these people aren't from New Haven. They just going on what they think about, all those different things like that.
Yeah.
So they try to price the house real high in the New Hallville area or whatever. So we did the appraisal. The appraisal come back 80,000 less than what they priced the house at. So what I did? I went to the appraisal price. Like, yeah, listen, man, I could even go 5,000 over just to make you feel good, rub your back, and all that. We could get the job done. They was like, nah, they feel like it came in too low, and they basically wanted more money. But I'm not paying extra money for something that's not worth it. I'll give you extra 5,000. So they didn't want to move forward, so we got out the deal, man. But from the beginning, like when I did the CMA, I went over 30,000 just so we could get the house.
Right.
Even though I knew it when it came back to that, and then even during the process, I ended up coming up to whatever they said they wanted. So I did my part.
Right.
And when we did the appraisal saved us, came back, 80,000 over. So I mean, they said they want to close by a certain time. And now I feel like they was lying now. Oh yeah, we trying to do a 1031 exchange with a sign else. If you felt like that, you would have just closed. So they probably just lying just try to get the deal done. But
I mean, I'll tell you exactly what it was. They so you said they wasn't from here. Number one,
I believe. Listen, if somebody put a house 80 to 100,000 over, they don't know the area. They just going over whatever they think. They just thinking about the numbers, like one of y'all just said. They just trying to get the money.
Yeah, those comps that King showed me.
It was wrong.
It didn't make sense.
The comps was from like properties that was like 2.2 to 3 miles away from the other property, from the main property.
And unfortunately, this is crazy too, Jason. See, King, now you just touched a nerve. But because the appraisers don't be from the area sometime too. What it sounds like, it might be the same thing that happened to me on one of my deals. I had a house it was off of Grand Avenue. It's a block away from
East Grand.
Nah, we down bottom. Like near like Ferraro's. It was in between
like Haven over there, East Street.
Yeah, so
by the G?
Close to the G, like where that Renter Center is right there down the street from there. All right. It's in between Ferraro's and then it's in between Humphreys. I'm in between Wooster Square.
Okay.
I'm in between Wooster Square and I'm in between East Rock.
Oh yeah. That's a good area.
Yo. This guy used comps from the hill.
Nah. to me, you got to do what's close to right there in that area.
You can't skip over East Rock or Rooster Square and say it's not the same neighborhood, but then you go 2 miles away and you gonna use those.
Yeah. So yeah, I feel like they were. That sound like I don't know what the word is, but they didn't want to use that area because you would have got higher money for that area that you were in. They didn't want you to get. They want you to get something from the hill, Howard Avenue. They feel like you ain't deserve all that money, that extra money that you could have got, 50 to 100,000 more. That's what it sounds like, and I could be wrong, but I think I'm right.
But as far as the guys not being from there, even the appraisers not being from. I had another one on Winchester Avenue. Now this one worked in my favor. The house is on Winchester Avenue. Was it Winchester? No, not Winchester. Newhall. It's on Newhall Street. And they gave me comps from Prospect Hill.
Up the
hill. So the house damn near appraised out at like 400,000 on Newhall Street. And that was what was that, like 4 years, like 4 years ago?
But I'm saying that was in your favor.
That was in my favor. But the point is, I knew they was wrong. Like, again, a lot of times the appraisers don't even be from here, and they don't know what to use.
Yeah,
I feel like they need to get trained again, because even if you're not from the area, you still supposed to use what's going on in the area. Like that should be a part of their job. Like how they even still in business?
And I don't know exactly where. Look, well, I don't even want to go into this, but it is a great conversation. But I don't even know exactly where your house was. But even if you use comps on Huntington,
it was on Winchester.
So even if you use comps on Huntington Street, which is Huntington and Winchester, them houses go for 580.
That's decent.
Yeah.
But the ones over there, it was 335, 390, 4 something, and then 500, like 480, then 500.
Yeah, they wildin'.
And it came back. The appraisal was 505, and I went 80,000 over. So, like when I did it, I'm like, I know this house not gonna go for that because it was a 2-family, but they trying to use comps of a 3-family, and I already knew that they was gonna go that angle. So I feel like I already had them anyway. So that's what they were doing, and then they used shit that was like 700,000, 1 point something million.
Yeah, they went crazy.
This not up the hill. This not between
the owners.
It's not between Winchester and Whitney Avenue. This not that.
Right.
The listing agent.
The listing agents. Yeah.
And probably the owners, because the owners, they got property.
Right.
So they probably like, we getting the highest, and
Yeah, man.
That's probably what it was.
So
yeah, those numbers, I don't know where they come up with those numbers, man, but
Yo, you got to know your numbers, man.
Shout out to the appraiser. They saved me. They got me out the deal.
Yeah, they did.
I mean, salute.
Yeah, they did. Yeah.
I have one now in the condo. It's stalled because the values came in about 35,000 less. And she called me. She like, I don't understand what your appraisal is doing. I'm like, yo, stop saying that. Yo, stop saying what the appraisal is doing. Like, because if you can't find comps, because we don't care about your opinion, right? If you can't find comps to support what you're saying, it doesn't matter how you feel.
Right.
You need comps to support the values that you're putting on these properties. Because I tell people all the time, I don't care what I think my houses are worth. When we sell, we're gonna get what the market think they're worth.
Right.
It don't matter what you think is worth. You can think you're worth $1 million. Somebody said no, $250 is the max I'm paying for this crap.
Right. It's about what they're willing to pay for it.
Exactly. You either sell it or not.
No matter what you think.
So when the appraisal report came in, it was crazy because, first of all, there was no sales. Like it's a condo. It's like a luxury condo to a certain extent, right? There's no sales to support it. And the sales that support it were 6 months, 7 months ago, and they were basically rehab properties. This property has not been touched for 20 years. They did nothing to the property in 20 years.
Oh, yeah.
No updates, no nothing, right, in 20 years. Second, the other property was 14 floors higher than said property. And the only thing the appraiser said, he said, I gave more value than I probably should have, because when I look into the building, the values are actually declining. So I could have took the declining scale and literally gave less value to the property, but he kept it at a fairly decent price. So they're like, oh, we could get like, you give us 10 more thousand. I'm like, where does that support the value? Because just imagine the realtors would be like, you know what? I mean, a loan officer, appraisers would be like, you know what? I think this deserves 10 more $1,000. But it's like, where is the value supported for that $10,000? There is no value to support it. So you got to put it to where the value supported, and it helps the buyers out. So people are not overpaying for a property that's going to be hard to sell in the future.
Right.
They ain't do nothing 20 years. They should have went 35,000 less. That's what they should have did.
Yeah, they didn't.
20 years? Come on.
Yo,
man.
would y'all
they got lucky.
Would y'all be opposed to getting a appraiser on the show? If we could get one?
Now I would love a show. I want to know how they think.
Yeah.
I like appraisers.
It's tricky, man. It's tricky. I'm not knocking no appraisers, man. Please understand, I'm not knocking no appraisers. What I'm saying is, my beef with appraisals is just so subjective, and I don't think it should be. Like that's what I want to talk to, King. I want to talk to Cody and see if we could push the issue on standardizing appraisals because it's shit.
I'm sure he working on it. I'm sure he working on everything, man.
Because if you get two appraisers on the same property, both numbers, they're gonna come out different.
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
It shouldn't be that off. It shouldn't be that far.
It shouldn't be that far off, but it shouldn't be, but it's still gonna come out different, So what I'm saying is even that right there, Jason, that's not a big deal until it is, right? So now we're talking about We're talking about these taxes in Hamden, right? If I get two appraisers and one of them says $10,000 less than the other one, guess which one I'm going with? So
you know which one you should go with? The one that's South I-95.
Definitely the one that's lower.
Get up out of here, man.
That's more taxes.
Yo, listen.
Get up out of there. Get up out of there because, man, they playing games with you and your taxes, bro.
A lot of people are getting out of here, man. A lot of people are. Listen, I read an article the other day, and we know this, and it sounds so cliche, but Connecticut really has some of the highest taxes in the state, in the country. Some of the highest.
It's always been like that,
right?
Man.
That's just it. And it's like, I think our mill rates are more than New York. I think the difference is between Connecticut and New York is New York's property values are higher, so they're taxing.
Oh, yeah. Mandotti about to make New York affordable for everybody.
You think so?
I don't know, but he's doing something everybody's liking.
Yeah. Hopefully.
No, it's getting out of hand, bro. It's getting out of hand. Like it's getting out of hand because listen, man. I, as an investor, as doing all these things, I get it, bro. I get, you got to pay for your property. Your tenants suck sometime and all these things. But you can't be a slumlord, bro. You can't be collecting money from people and not taking care of the units, not taking care of the property, the buildings. Like, come on now. I think some of the fuss is ridiculous that they're fighting about.
You're talking about in New York.
I'm talking about it anywhere, like New York, anywhere. Like some of these landlords are horrible.
Yeah.
They don't fix nothing. Things just falling apart. They don't have any type of care in the world to make sure the people who are renting from them are taken care of and living in a safe, clean environment.
You know why?
And I get it, man. You got to be careful, but man, it's bad.
You know why, right? Because for years, especially like a lot of the generation before us, was out here teaching people, it was taught that real estate was a passive investment.
Exactly.
That was the thing. You could passively invest in real estate and, hire a property management company and this, that, and the third. Nah, you gotta be, real estate is very active, man. Real estate is alive and breathing for real.
Yes.
This thing is moving, and it'll move on you every day. It'll get from underneath you if you don't watch it. And do what you need to do, on a daily basis, man. So
I agree,
I
bro.
think that story has been, pushed around. That narrative has been pushed around for a long time, and people, I think people are programmed to figure out how to work less, how to work smarter, not harder. So you're gonna figure out ways to where, I could collect this rent money and chill. Or I'll get somebody to go by and cut the grass. Yeah, but that's only a piece of it.
Yeah.
It's
Right.
only a piece of it. So, um, yeah, nah. It's we'll talk more about that, but um, yeah, I don't know. So, Jason, do you know how property taxes are calculated in Florida? Like, how do they do it? Is it just like, do you have mill rates and all of that stuff?
Yeah, you have it's a whole. I was actually going through this the other day when I was looking at how they're going to take away taxes in Florida. So property taxes are taken from multiple different entities. Well, they're collected by multiple different entities to come up with those different taxes. And if you go to if you go to your tax bill right now, you're going to see about 7 or 8 different entities that actually collects from school districts to freaking to trash services to water waste to everything. You're going to see police. Schools are usually the biggest receivers of taxes in most districts in the U.S. So it's spread out through different entities, and then those entities are actually paid out through those taxes that they collect from you. So when they say, why are my taxes going up? So as the population increases, what they do is, because this is where it comes to a situation to where it doesn't make any sense. How are you assessing my value of my land? How are you telling me my land is more valuable now than it was a year ago? So what they're doing, once the population increases, they see more people within a certain radius. They're saying, okay, this area is valuable now. So when they reassess, those property taxes go up based on a census a lot of times. And sometimes it's not the regular census, it's a census based on new cars registered in the area, people registered, addresses. It's a bunch of different other ways they freaking come up with these numbers, but that's basically the meat and potatoes of how those taxes are collected and how they're assessed, because it doesn't make a lot of sense on how they're doing it, because the roads are not fixed. It's supposed to go to the roads, supposed to go towards our daily living and make life easier for the citizens, but or the people whatever area you're living in, but it doesn't. It's they collect a lot. I don't think people understand the number each city collects a year in taxes
Mm. Oh yeah, we understand.
for the cities to be looking the way they actually do. So
Yeah, we understand. Boy, do we understand. um, so like,
Yeah, these mayors and stuff don't care about these cities.
nah, bro.
yeah. So we King, your camera's off. I don't know if you know, but so
Yeah, I know. I walk up to Walmart.
got you. So here in Connecticut, they they go by assessments, basically appraisals. All right. So they hire a company that goes around and does appraisals on all the houses. All right. And even that in itself apparently was an issue. I guess whatever company they hired was a company that some other towns used before, and they kind of messed up the count or whatever. So something happened. I'm not 100% sure what, but this company does this appraisal. The first thing they do is they reach out to you. They send you a letter in the mail to say, hey, listen, we want to come in and check out your property, so we could do this tax assessment or whatever. And you could choose to let them in or not. It's up to you. You don't have to let them in, but just know that they're going to do this appraisal one way or the other, right? So they do the appraisal based off of sales. You know, it's sales. They ran comps. The same conversation we was just having, you know, with King, you know, on the New Haven property. So they look up the past sales. The problem is they only do this assessment every 5 years. So if you know the Connecticut real estate market, a lot has changed in 5 years. These property values shot up a lot, you know, in 5 years and almost doubled in a lot of spaces. So that's what happened with the taxes. The taxes doubled, right? So remember, keep in mind, it's all based off of that value. So now you got, you know, your mill rate. I don't even want to go into the math. You could look up the math, but basically your mill rate, you know, divided by the, you know, your property's value equals your yearly taxes. All right. So the taxes went up so much. Hamden's like, all right, listen, we can't hit all of these people with this big tax bill all at once. So we're gonna break it down into 4 years. All right, we're gonna do a 4-year phase in. You're gonna go up this amount this year, this amount next year, and then all the way to the 4th year. Problem is
that makes no sense.
It gets worse. The problem is you still have legislative council meetings every year. You got budget meetings every year. So now the budget don't add up again, even though you raise the taxes. So now they got to raise and adjust and all of this stuff again on top of the 4-year phase in, bro. That's madness.
Yep.
Madness.
Yep.
So,
you remember that Lock song? You remember on the Locks that skit? We'll be raping you. Yeah. That's what's going on.
So, but hold on, stay with me, King. I got one for you. So, you know, that's where we are now. And, you know, like you were saying, Jason, the taxes go to, you know, education, infrastructure, fire department, police department, the roads. What else? We got trash pickup. There are some towns that have to pay for their own trash pickup.
Yeah, man, that's crazy.
Yeah, so the one thing I will say,
that's one thing that's worth it, though.
I was about to say, but between you said, tell you one thing that's worth it.
No, I say that's one thing that's worth it. Because I've been to the South, and you got to bring your trash to the trash can every day. That's a no.
Or burn it or whatever. So
yeah, that's crazy.
You do get trash pickup. You do get what we get 2 bulk trash pickups a year. And
yeah, you get police.
One leaf bag pickup, I think.
You probably get 2. You probably get one
2?
like at the end of the
October and April.
The beginning of the winter, and then some at the end of the summer.
October and April. So that you got the police and
fire
department for sure. So there is a lot of amenities, but in the schools, you know, the schools need money.
Yeah, that's the biggest. That's the biggest.
But damn, it's like damn. So I will tell you this. This is what I found out about Hamden real quick. Hamden is if you know Hamden, New Haven, Hamden is super diverse, Jason. You're gonna love this one. Hamden is super diverse. We have more, I don't want to say millionaires, but we have more wealth per capita than a lot of the other surrounding cities. So
where they live
at? Branford.
I'm talking specifically Hamden. I'm talking specifically.
Yeah, so I'm saying we're in Hamden. Where they live at?
Yo, listen,
Cheshire borderline,
bro. Hamden ain't as small as you think. You know what I mean? Like you got.
No, I know it's huge. I know it's huge. Yeah.
You got the 1.8, you got the 1.7, you got the 1.4. So it's a lot bigger than you think, and even when he said that to me, it just kind of dawned on me like it makes sense. Like so, there's more money per capita here than there is in New Haven. So the state sends New Haven $100 and something million every year, right? Hamden only gets 35. So because of the wealth that's here, the state money doesn't really offset, the debt as much. And basically what he was saying is that's where they're struggling at. Is trying to, offset the debt. We don't get enough help here. Whatever. That's
the poorest.
Huh?
I'm not gonna. I'll wait for you to finish.
Nah, what was you about to say?
I would say, the poorest states in this country.
No.
Are red states.
Okay.
I just that's something that was on my mind.
It was on your spirit.
So you had to mention.
Yeah. So this is my thought process. I'm gonna run this concept by you. You tell me what you think, right? What's happening now is everybody's putting their houses on the market at the same time. The things that we've been saying for years that wouldn't happen is finally happening, but only right here. Only right here, only in this town. So property values are going down. I got a guy, flipper, beautiful house, nice starter home. It's a Cape, but it's got 4 bedrooms, 2 full baths, finished basement. He got it on the market for $350 and can't sell it. And a 1-car garage. Can't sell it, right? Taxes on that thing, like
that sounds like a deal,
bro. Yo, it's crazy. But until you look at them taxes, taxes almost $10,000. So that's why he's taking a beating, and he got the competition from everybody else putting their house on. So the property values are dropping, and they ain't even dropping a little bit; like they dropping a lot. So, what if I was to wait 6 months down the line? If let's say this thing keeps going the way it's going, 6 months down the line. 6 months down the line, it would be dead in winter too. Great time to get the house reappraised, reassess at a lower price, and then go contest my taxes.
It's a great time to head south.
It's a great time to get up out of there,
bro. Hell yeah.
Yo, I'm like, I think that's the play right now.
I like that. I like it.
There's nothing really else you could do.
Might have to talk to my client about that.
Yeah,
because I'm about to have something on the market soon.
Yeah, it's I think that's the only thing you could do. You're basing my taxes off the value. So when the value change, I need you to continue to base my taxes off my value. You know what I'm saying? Off the value. And I think that's how it's got to be done. But it's going to be a totally different market here in the next couple.
Some of them are selling though.
Yeah, there's a lot
of them are selling.
Definitely, man. There's
certain areas.
There's definitely a lot of transactions, but again, with the competition and the taxes, it's still taking a beating. But you know what, King? It seemed like the houses that are like 420 and higher, it's a lot of those, but yeah, we'll keep an eye on this thing, and
that's crazy.
See what's
10,000.
Yeah, it's 1,300 square feet house. Taxes $10,000, man. It's bananas.
1,300 square feet.
Yep.
You said extra 10,000?
Nah, it's like 10,000.
Ain't no way, bro.
Yeah.
Ain't no way, bro.
You talking about the taxes?
Yeah.
No.
Ain't no way, bro.
So yeah, man, that's what we're dealing with. But we're gonna wrap it up, man. I think this was a good show. Shout out to Mike. He did check in. He said he had something he had to take care of, man. So we'll catch him on the next one. Hope all is well. Hope all is well with y'all, man. Y'all be safe. Oh, are we doing gyms? Do we got to do gyms?
Of course. Oh, yeah. I'll start it off. I'll start the gyms off.
What he said, go.
Yo, go watch the Odyssey, man. That's a good movie. And next week we will have someone running for public office in Darlington, South Carolina.
Nice.
Antonio McFarland.
Nice.
It's going to be a dope episode. He's going to talk a lot about what he got going on, his outlook for the future of Darlington, South Carolina, District 2. And we're going to be speaking to him on how we can help him impact the community, things that we can help with, we can offer to them. So make sure next week you tune in, tell a friend. It's going to be a dope episode, man. Antonio's a real dope dude, scholar, HBCU. The dude is dope, bro. So next week is going to, and his family at that too. So next week, tune in, everybody.
Bae, Auntie Karen said, happy anniversary, babe. Thank you, Auntie Karen. Good evening, Miss Kathy. Shout out to Miss Kathy on the check-in. King, you up, King? What's the gym? What's the nugget for today? I'm probably not leaving one, so you're going last.
My gym would be to do what you want to do in this life. Time waits for no man. Nobody not gonna wait for you to get together. You gotta get together now.
Yep.
Start waiting to be great. Be great today. That's my gym. Fresh out of Walmart.
Yo, he's going to be great in Walmart right now. Yo, I got an easy one, man. Yo, stop stressing. Don't let nothing stress you out. Just go get it.
Yeah.
Me and Jay was talking about that earlier today. That's the gym. Everything gonna be all right.
Right. Gotta stay focused.
Stay focused.
Man.
So, yo, listen, I hope y'all enjoyed it. Thanks for tuning in. Like Jason said, we'll be back next week. We got Antonio McFarland coming on. That's going to be a dope episode. I can't wait to ask him some questions about Darlington, Darlington, South Carolina, next to what's the town, Jason? Florence. Next to Florence. Florence is booming right now, so we're trying to get ready for that.
But I'll get something down there.
Hey, listen.
Okay.
Listen, we're going to talk to the plug first before we make the move. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. All right, Jason, send us a text.
Yeah. So make sure y'all tune in next week, man. And like Mike would say, don't forget to secure that bag.
Beginnings on the cusp. Not too old to adjust. Old dog, new tricks. Remember, I was just a pup. Something dirty in my cup. Clean soul, good karma is a must. Still my shooter in the cut. I was stuck inside a rut. Played the game, made bank, moved G. Anything to get a buck. You won't find me in the club. I'm in the lab trying to sharpen up the sword. Swinging blades at these scrubs. Flock like bugs to the light. Getting right. Treat my hoes like these raps. I don't really got a type. Off top bullshit. All I needed was a mic. Yeah. Hey, pass the rock, it's all butter. Pack your bags and take flight. Don't worry, it's all covered. Hey, live your life while you can. Our days are all numbered. Rain could cause thunder, but the sun comes after, clearing up the disaster.
Isn't it lovely? I ain't looking back, I'm focused on what's in front of me. Everybody days.